This year, TaxSlayer has made some great improvements to its tax software, making it very comparable to big players like H&R Block and TurboTax. So if you're looking for a premium tax filing experience, don't overlook TaxSlayer. In this video, I'm covering a complete review and video walkthrough of TaxSlayer's tax software to help you file your 2020 tax return. Hey guys, it's Justine with the College Investor Investing and Personal Finance for Millennials. So the first thing that you probably want to know about TaxSlayer is it actually free? Now they do offer one free tier, and that's available to those who have a W-2 income. You can also claim the recovery rebate credit if you did not receive your stimulus check, and you can also claim education credits and student loan interest. Any other tax forms that you may have outside of those things will bump you up into their paid tier. So what's new in 2021 with TaxSlayer? One of the biggest things that we saw with this software is that they really improved and simplified their navigation, and they significantly cut down on tax jargon. When I was going through the tax software, it just seemed really easy to find more information about specific forms if I had questions on it, and just actually going through the overall tax software and the user experience was just really easy. So I liked how the dashboard was set up, very comparable to what I saw with H&R Block and TurboTax. All right, so let's talk about TaxSlayer's pricing plans, because I have a feeling a lot of you are going to fall within their classic tier. First off, if you are a Rakuten user and you have the Rakuten plugin installed on Google Chrome, you can activate the 12.5% cashback feature, which is going to save you even more money on your tax software with TaxSlayer. Okay, on top of your Rakuten cashback, you're going to see 4 different options. The Simply Free that I mentioned was very specific. Most of us are going to fall in the classic tier, so this really applies to pretty much all tax situations. And it's only $17 plus the additional state fee, which for your state return is $32. So all in, you're paying $49, 50 bucks-ish for your classic tier. And then if you want more pro support, you're going to pay 20 bucks extra for that. And then I really feel like the big bargain and the best deal here is with self-employed people. So it's best for contractors, 1099s, side hustlers, self-employed. That's going to be $47 plus that $32 for the state filing fee. All right, so those are the pricing plans. Now let's hop into the tax software and I'll show you how this works.
All right, guys, welcome to TaxSlayer. We are going to start for free, and then you will create an account and get logged in here, and then I'll meet you on the other side inside of the dashboard. Inside of the dashboard, you have your left-hand navigation menu, and then you're going to start with your basic information and start inputting all of that stuff right in here. Now, if you've already filled it out, you can go back in and always click the edit button, and then you can edit each of these different things individually. Another thing that was different about TaxSlayer that I noticed is that they covered the recovery rebate credit up front. A lot of this stuff, when I was going through other tax software reviews, the recovery rebate credit was actually included in the federal section, but for some reason it was included in the basic information. So if you are worried about them including the stimulus check information, they have got you covered. It's up here front and center, and you will see where you can input your first stimulus check amount and the second one if you've already received your second stimulus check. Now, if you do have any questions about this, they have a blue hyperlink on a lot of different sections actually that say learn more. And then you're going to see this little pop-up screen that is going to kind of go over what exactly this is if you were unsure. And that's true for all of the sections as we go through TaxSlayer. So what I like about TaxSlayer this year is that you have the option to be guided through their software with prompted questions by the software, or if you've done this a time or two and you know how to file your taxes online, you can select your own forms from a list and enter the information for yourself. So I like this feature because you can actually go through each of the sections and see which ones pertain to you and which ones you can just skip out on. Then you can see this little green begin button. Also, as you update information and add in forms, you're going to see this refund summary window here, and that number is going to change depending on what forms you have and what's been entered. Okay, so as I completed my W-2 information, you're going to see that federal refund amount update. If we owed money, then you would see that summary right there in the right-hand menu. And now you can see once I've completed that, we have this gray edit button. So I know that I've been in that section, then I can go back in and edit things if I need to. What I like about TaxSlayer as well is that once I get into one of these forms, everything is in one scrollable screen. I've seen other tax software where you're kind of just clicking through one by one each of the line items, which is thorough, but it's very meticulous. I would much rather have this scrollable form feature that makes it a little bit easier on the eyes and easier to get through. Now in TaxSlayer, I did go ahead and click the classic version because I think that's going to encompass a lot of tax filing situations for the majority of folks who want to file their taxes online. So you're going to see the option to add in these different forms. And if you were to do the simply free version, then they would go ahead and bump you up into that paid tier. Now, if you didn't know what any of these forms were, again, just a quick and simple explanation right here. And then you can go ahead and click begin if you actually have a 1099 DIV form. And I love these little blue learn more buttons. Very helpful. And I don't feel like this is a whole lot of information to weed through, and it's easy to understand. All right, so as I added in that interest form, you saw that the refund summary and the federal refund went down. So it updates in real time as you are updating each of these sections. Now, because I'm doing my own self-guided navigation through the tax software, I'm going right back to the summary page and kind of looking at what I need to fill in. So it's helpful to have all of your tax forms ready to go prior to coming into the tax software. But if you like to get a jump start on things, then you can go ahead and input those forms as you receive them. All right, then you're going to get a little prompt to upgrade here for the audit defense and the security ID, $44 currently. I'm going to click no thanks. And then you can go through your deductions. If you don't have any of these credits to add or itemized deductions to add, then you can take the standard deduction. All right, so if you have any adjustments, a lot of us are going to have either that health savings account, maybe in an IRA deduction. So let's say you had student loan interest deductions. You can go ahead and add in your total interest paid. But the one thing that I am noticing about the student loan interest deduction is that I didn't see the form number next to student loan interest deduction even when I went to go enter that information. So if you didn't know which form you needed, it's not very clear right here. So I feel like this is an easy correction for TaxSlayer to include, but I always like the title of the form and then the actual form number just to make sure I'm pulling the correct information. Okay, then you're going to go through the other taxes, other tax filing situations. These aren't typical for most filers, but if you do have a Schedule SE, for example, then you'll want to make sure that you add in that form. And I like how easy everything is broken up. There's space in between the text. This doesn't feel overwhelming to me. You're also going to see the updated tax law changes for this year, including the reporting health insurance. If you had it from the marketplace, then you would report it right here if you have that form. If you don't, click no. And then you can move on to your state return. So remember, the state returns are additional. It's $32. And then you're going to go through each of these line items and start your state return. Okay, this is specific for California, but I have no idea if I qualify for the renter's credit or not. Let's say I was a renter here, then I'd like to know exactly what this renter's credit is, and there is no link to that. So that's another miss for TaxSlayer if I was to be critical and picky about it. All right, at the end of it all, you get a nice little tax return summary to see exactly what you put inside of the tax software, including your total income. And I do like that when you click on these drop-down menus that you can see these different sections. So if you had ordinary dividends and you needed to go back to that section, you totally can easily from that summary section. So this makes it really easy to navigate in between different sections here and to go back to where you last left off using this left-hand menu. Makes it really easy to get around inside of TaxSlayer, which I love. So while this isn't normally considered a primo product, they've really upped their game this year, and they've made it very simple to file your 2020 taxes online.
TaxSlayer is a great contender this year, and I feel like it definitely competes with H&R Block and TurboTax, and for a really good price. So if you are wanting great price, great user experience, and a very improved tax software technology, don't overlook TaxSlayer. But if you're still on the fence about which tax software to use and choose this year, be sure to check out all of our complete reviews and video walkthroughs at thecollegeinvestor.com.